But we do want to lead off with the latest on that flooding emergency in British Columbia. Hundreds of people across the Fraser Valley remain out of their homes right now following torrential rainfall and historic flooding. With floodwaters, they are expected to peak in the coming hours in Abbotsford, located about 70 kilometers southeast of Vancouver.
How do you feel about what's happening?
Stressed out, absolutely stressed out.
Unreal.
And I don't know what is going to happen in the next few days.
In all, residents of more than 450 properties in Abbotsford have been forced out of their homes, with around 1,000 other properties placed under evacuation alert. Rainfall warnings in the Fraser Valley have now ended, but another atmospheric river is expected to drench the region on Sunday, raising concerns about new flood hazards. And the CBC's Mark Carcassole has been tracking all of those developments for us. What's the latest right now with the rising floodwaters, the evacuation situation?
Well, it would seem as though things are in a bit of a holding pattern at this point, Arthi, but as you talked about there, not really, because things are still being affected by snow melt, rain runoff, and also there is some trepidation about what is in store for the Fraser Valley and surrounding area this upcoming weekend. Now, a quick note for anyone in BC just waking up, maybe thinking of sending the kids to school. The Abbotsford School District says all classes will be canceled today. This largely because floodwater has reached to Highway 1 in Abbotsford as of last night. Let's take a look at the evacuation orders that are in effect in the Fraser Valley. Properties north of Highway 1, 7 commercial properties there, no one's homes. However, plenty of homes affected by this. 2 properties in Highway 3 have been evacuated. Properties in Chopaka, 2 properties on Marble Hill Road. Those properties evacuated due to a landslide. This is the big one, parts of Sumas Prairie West. That evacuation order actually expanded. Yesterday, it was 371 people who were advised to leave their homes. An additional 82 in Huntington Village were added yesterday, which means it is now 453 total affected. Parts of Wilson Road area along Chilliwack River affected by an evacuation order, as is Princeton Municipal Campground. Then you've got evacuation alerts. People who've been told you don't need to leave immediately. However, you do have to keep your eye on things and be ready to go. Sumas Prairie East, the community of Eastgate, Sumas Prairie West and Clayburn Village. Also, again, parts of that Wilson Road area along the Chilliwack River. So very much an eye being kept on what is developing in terms of flood warnings. They're very much the same as they were yesterday still. The Sumas River in particular, they are keeping an eye on that because the Nooksack River in Washington State feeds into the Sumas River, which is causing these high water levels, causing the overland flooding that we've been seeing in these images. The Tulameen River under a flood warning. Similkameen River tributaries also under a flood warning. Now, this flood warning, particularly in the Sumas River, brings back a lot of bad memories of the Abbotsford floods of 2021. Government officials making sure to say yesterday that A, the rainfall totals wouldn't be as bad, but B, they've also learned a lot from those 2021 floods that they're hoping to implement this time around. However, because there's water coming in from the U.S. involved here, there are some residents of the area, like Jeffrey Spitters, a poultry farmer in Sumas Prairie, who says the U.S., our neighbors to the south, need to get on board with this plan too.
I have a bit of issue with the fact that there's been recommendations that have been put forward in order to put in resilience for future flooding that was kind of brushed away, and then also what's happening down across in the US where we have no control of it. We can't do anything about what's going on there. So again, our hands are tied in the sense that we're at the mercy of what they decide to do.
A lot of this stemmed from really bad rainfall in Washington State. There were parts of that under an emergency declaration. As far as what fell, the BC Forecast Center says up to 150 millimeters of rain has fallen through this atmospheric river since it moved into the area on Tuesday. And David Campbell, a representative with the center, tells us a little bit more about what's to come this weekend.
We do have more weather coming towards us. Another round of atmospheric river and stormy systems coming in starting on Sunday and moving into Monday. At this point, still fairly far out in the forecast to understand whether that system's going to pose an increased risk to what we're seeing at present.
Meanwhile, a state of local emergency in BC's Fraser Valley remains in place, as is one declared yesterday in the regional district of Okanagan. Similkameen declared yesterday due to those floodwaters.
And I also wanted to ask you about highway closures. We know yesterday there were a number of them. What has changed, if anything?
They've been slightly scaled back, but not by much. Some of the biggest ones are still in effect. In particular, Highway 1 near Abbotsford continues to be closed between Highway 11 and Number 3 Road. This is an image of that highway. Once that declaration was made, people sort of stuck in that closure zone, slowly being aided to make their way out, but it was a very slow process. In addition to that closure on Highway 1, you've got a closure on Highway 11 to the Sumas border to the U.S., close to commercial traffic anyway. Highway 3 from Hope to Princeton is closed due to debris on the highway, and Highway 8 remains closed except for local traffic. We've been saying it all morning. I'll say it again, Arthi. If you live in the area, you should be checking with Drive BC. Those are your local authorities. They will have the latest, most up-to-date info.
Mark, thank you for this. That is the CBC's Mark Carcassole.
Thanks.